Good evening.
How you doing, Joy? Good
Good.
evening. I'm gonna need you to start us off because I had to reset some things and I don't have what I need. So I'm gonna just put you on camera, and if you could start us off, I would greatly appreciate it.
No problemo. Let me mute something first because I believe it is causing echo. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gardening Plus with Joy and Healy. I am Joy. Healy got technical difficulties. She'll be back with us in a second. And we are two coast to coast gardeners sharing our beyond the basics knowledge, intermediate knowledge, beyond the basics experiences, intermediate knowledge, and advanced antics. Watch the scrolling messages for important information. Feel free to exchange ideas, tips, and tricks with each other in the chat. Type in all caps for comments and questions for us, and lowercase for each other. And please don't forget to like, hype, subscribe, and share. And whether you're here for live or for the replay, enjoy the show. And with the recent-ish changes with YouTube, if we're not familiar, really appreciate it if you could watch through our playlist at regular speed. Just put it in the background while you're sleeping. That would be awesome. I've got a content farm running right now in my house, so trying to really get that 4,000 mark before the February deadline.
Yeah, I know of February, and it's I can see if they said, okay, we're gonna increase the numbers by 10% or something like that, but double. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm not even 1/10 of the way. I'm not 1/10 of the way through the current number. So, and then you're gonna double it on top of that. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I have, decided like quite a while back, although I might say, of course, it would be nice for the channel to be monetized. We talked about this before. The content is free for our viewers, but it's not free for creators. And I'm not just talking about, um, the things okay, I have to buy whatever it is that my channel is about, purchase those things or whatever. But I mean, the electricity, the internet connection, the driving back and forth, it's a lot of behind the scenes. And I mean, yeah, I would not mind being financially compensated for that.
Right.
But with YouTube keep changing the rules every time you turn around, I have pretty much said that my channel will be a labor of love. I'm sharing this content. I created the channel because I'm sharing things that I enjoy. But we put in work. And those of you in the chat, you are content creators and stuff as well. And we put in work. So yes, please watch, like, subscribe, comment, share, hype. Y'all do all the things. It'll really help us out.
Yes. And yeah, I also have that feeling, but I am going to try, this last ditch effort to make it to that. But if not, I'll still be here. I'll still be producing what I produce regardless. I enjoy what I'm sharing. But yeah, it would be nice. Just a little, compensation for all the work and all the equipment and all the time.
Hmm.
But all right, let's get back to the show. How are you, Healy? It looks like you brought Las Vegas heat back with you.
I Yeah, I think I did. When I left California, we were in like at the end of a heat wave. Went to Las Vegas. It was just very, very warm,
That
very
was
hot.
very warm.
And they were in a heat wave. And then I came back home and we're in a heat wave. And I'm like, well, I mean, it has definitely shown in my garden, which I'm getting ready to share just a snippet of. I would say 2026 was not my finest garden year. But we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it a little bit more today. I'll start off since I'm already talking. I'll start off with my intro. So I'm Healy. I'm in Southern California. I'm in zone 10B/11A, and it's like 11B. The temps, everything is the climate, y'all, is hot. Rolling heat waves, they still going strong since our last live stream 2 weeks ago. But overall the weather is still the same. We have mild winters, warm summers, we have limited rain, but even with that, it means near year-round gardening or literally year-round gardening. I have been gardening in this area in Southern California for 9 years now. Small suburban backyard and mostly containers. So buckets, nursery pots, vertical planters, metal raised beds, and grow bags. I have three fruit trees in the ground, and everything else is above ground in my backyard shenanigans garden.
All right. And I'm Joy. I'm in New York State, Zone 6B. I utilize all manners of gardening styles: in ground, raised beds, containers, indoor growing, and knock on wood, I might get that greenhouse this year. Let's see. Let's
Ooh.
see. I also have a flock of 14 chickens, two of them being roosters. Summer is coming to a close. I feel the chill. I see the leaves in their grass. The leaves, yeah, the leaves. That's what they are. But the tree leaves falling on the grass, and they're yellow, and that signals. Aside from maybe the drought that we had, so some of those leaves are just dead from summer heat. But the temps have cooled down, and so I know that fall is not far ahead of us. So I'm sad. It makes me sad. Other than that, we still have 60-ish days, maybe. Depends on, how this weather pattern affects us. But I still have a little bit of growing time left. So I feel like I've sown my last of my fall gardening seeds. And so we'll see what comes up of that. Otherwise, yeah, that's it for now.
All right, let's see who we have in the chat this evening. So I see Mike. Mike, thank you so much for being here and supporting us. Now, when you say speak it to be, what you
Yes.
speaking it to be? What, the cool weather,
No, he's talking about, I think,
the
the
rain,
monetization.
the monetization. Yes, speak it to be. So look, speak it to be for all of us. Like that's for real. Speak it to be for all of us because yeah, we do. We work hard for the money. But right now
Well, not money.
we I know not
Just
money
work
yet,
hard.
but we working hard for it.
Yep.
So today let's add this to the stage. So today we're gonna be talking about growing the same plants in different climates. So have you ever tried to grow the same herbs, vegetables, and fruits as your favorite YouTube gardeners who live in a totally different growing zone? And you're like, can I grow that too? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. As we mentioned earlier, Joy lives in New York and I live in California. We are like literally opposite ends of the country, but we picked two vegetables that we grew this year, or two plants that we grew this year. And we're going to talk about some of the things that we may do similarly, some things we do differently, and we're going to talk about our results. Definitely have different results, have a lot different results. Um but before we get into that, Joy, do you want to talk about what you've been doing since the last live stream?
Sure. Like I mentioned before, I finished my fall seedings. So I put in, well, I'm supposed to tell you that at the end, actually. So let me leave it at that. I've done putting seeds in the soil. Harvesting is ongoing. Very few tomatoes, unfortunately. There's still some green ones left on the vine. So I'm hoping that they will ripen before, the system collapses. Peppers aplenty. What else? Eggplants coming in. I saw one okra. Hopefully more will come. Weeding. That is like one of the, I say, two primary goals when the temperature comes back to this nicer time is a lot of weeding. I have really neglected a lot of garden spaces, and yeah, I need to clean them up and really have a better vision for how I want them to be filled next year so that the weeds don't take over. And then the other big one is compost and turning compost and building compost. I was not able to touch any of my compost this year because it was just rain, 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 and I need a dry time. So I'm hoping, we're going to get some of that. And also I'm building another compost pile system, or at least we're moving into a different place. But anyway, there's a new location. I haven't videoed anything, but I will in the future, in the near future. So I'm excited. I'm always excited about those little projects, like, something that can be started and finished in a short amount of time. So building compost, and then this greenhouse idea is, really top of the line that I want to happen. But it's a matter of where to place it on the property, because there's very few flat spots, and there's very few areas that we want to compromise with a building on it, because then it hinders traffic of other things. So it's just a matter of like securing the spot, which I really want this one spot, but unless another spot can be found that's better, then, I'm willing to move it. But it's just a matter of just like, all right, we've picked the spot. Let's do it. Put it in the ground. And then I think it'll be a matter of waiting for like Black Friday sales to order it. I really wanted to build it ourselves, but I think if if we just buy the basic kit, but shore it up in our own DIY way to make sure it doesn't either collapse from the snow load or blow away from some nasty wind, then it should be fine. So that's what I'm dreaming about and hoping for. And yeah, what's
Well,
up with you?
yeah, for me, so since the last live stream, y'all still, like I said, the main thing, these heat waves, and it has been, we had that freak heat wave in March that was very, very just strange and out of the ordinary for our area. And then it almost seemed like the end of May or like the first week of June, ever since that time period to like today, we've just been in rolling heat waves. So trying to survive the heat waves, the warmer weather did bring those fig beetles earlier. They are still here. Y'all, today is Thursday. So Tuesday I had like a mobile car maintenance that came to my house to just do some minor stuff on my car, and I went out to the front because I mostly see the fig beetles in the backyard. So I went out to the front yard to meet the technician, and who met me, y'all? It was so embarrassing, but I did run back inside. I told the guy, I was like, "Look, you got the keys. You know what to do. Just go ahead. Let me know when it's done." So the fig beetles are still alive and well. I cannot wait until the weather cools down until they leave. Also, I'm saying since the last live stream, but almost this whole gardening season, neglecting my garden. And you will see examples of that very shortly. Y'all, just 2026 just was not the gardening year for me. I seem to be more focused on my fruit trees and specifically my dragon fruit. Y'all, I just uploaded a video. YouTube has been taking hours to publish my videos. Sometimes it rolls into the next day, but I just uploaded a video of me fertilizing my very first, hand pollinating my first dragon fruit flower. It's sugar dragon. And y'all, I'm so excited. Like, I'm ecstatic. I just can't hardly sit still in this seat. So I have been focusing more on my fruit trees, my fruit, the dragon fruit, and everything like that, and less on my garden. But if you've watched the Backyard Shenanigans garden videos, you've seen the vegetables and things that I have harvested. There's stuff out there right now that needs to be harvested. It's probably dehydrated, so I don't even have to use my dehydrator. It's probably dehydrated, but it's still a few things to harvest. But what I'm gonna be doing over the next 2 weeks, pruning my dragon fruit trellises. They are massive. Planting the two VEGO garden dragon fruit trellises that I still have not done, and it's been, I think, like 2 months, and I still haven't done it. I need to do that because I got even more dragon fruit, and I got another little, I think, 15-gallon bucket kind of DIY trellis. So I need to set all of that up. Breaking down the Backyard Shenanigans garden, and I'm thinking about sowing some seeds and doing like a November/winter garden. And hopefully I do actually get to do it because I want to show you, because I always say I can grow year round. I can grow. Like I actually want to show you. I don't want to just say it and you like, man, she keeps saying that, but we never see anything. I want to actually show you. So hopefully, that's I can get that done.
I have faith in you.
Thank you so much. So as I mentioned earlier, let me see if I can get this back up on the screen. So today's topic, we're talking about growing the same plants in different zones. And we picked two vegetables or two plants. We picked corn and melon. So I chose the topic because I probably, like several of you, watch a lot of different garden channels. And most of them are not in Southern California. I do have a handful that are in Southern California, but most of mine are like literally everywhere else, not California. And because I'm in such a warm climate, almost everybody else is in a cooler climate. And I'm like, you know what? This person is growing this, this gardener is growing that, can I do that too? Because sometimes being in a warmer climate year round is not the most conducive to some of the like the winter plants.
Mm.
So I just, I'm like, hey, can I do it too? So I talked to Joe. I was like, hey, can this be a topic? She was like, yeah, I'm down with
Of
it.
course.
And so, here we go. I'm gonna do mine first because I just need to get through it. I'm just, but before I do, let's see. So Mike says, why isn't this? Come on, that's not the one I want to show. So he says the last 2 years, frost came September 20 something, and then snow October 7 and 11. Now, Mike, is
That's
that
early.
early? Is that early for you? Yeah, frost in September, end of September, snow in October. Just let us know if that's early for you. And then he says, after the hail, I only have 4 corn stalks left.
Mm.
2 definitely need to be harvested and 2 maybe. Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you this, Mike. You have me beat because you know, yeah, you have me beat and I'm getting ready to show you. Like my mom used to tell me, I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. It usually wasn't for a positive thing, but
Right.
you know, um, so let me go ahead and get started with these pictures. So the corn. So I grew early golden bantam, and I think some of these were the Dollar Tree seeds, and then I think some were either botanical interests or I can't remember. I know it wasn't Baker Creek, but I know the first like the first batch, this is the second batch too. They were mostly the Dollar Tree. And it's too like Valley Green and American Seed. So those, and you can see in the picture like the starter tray. And I think I did like 3 or 4 6-pack starter trays of the corn. And then later on, you see the picture on the right. I came back and I resowed, and these were in my metal raised bed. And you can see the cover is still on it. So when I first sowed the seeds, they were covered. My soil medium, I did use DIY seed starting mix, and it was basically peat moss, perlite, I believe azomite, and some earthworm castings. So a simple mix just to get the corn started. I can't remember if I may have put in a little bit of granular fertilizer. If I did, it probably was Dr. Earth like 222, like very low dose fertilizer, because corn is hungry, so you got to get them like right at the beginning, or at least that's what I did. So of the bazillion corn seeds that I sowed in the starter trays, only two,
Mm.
only two came up, and you can see them if you look at the picture on the right. Um, you can see like two, like the larger one is in the back and then the smaller one is in the front. You can barely see the green, but I promise you, two of the original seeds actually germinated. And then I repeated the process about a month later, and none of those seeds germinated. Now, it could have been due to a lot of different things, but none of the second group, and I may have even stuck in a third group of seeds. And this time I believe it was ambrosia, or it was a different variety. It wasn't the early golden bantam, but nothing germinated, or if it did, like I didn't see it.
Mhm.
So my sowing method, as I mentioned, I did the starter tray, and then after that, I did direct sowing. I started sowing the seeds in May, and if you remember this year, I was saying, man, I'm starting my garden so late. I'm starting it so late. I didn't start it until like late April or May. So I feel like I started late, and then it just kind of snowballed from there because it got hot very quickly. Like I said, we had that heat wave in March, and that just, to me, that just threw everything off. Um, the starters, the start trays, they were in direct sun. I didn't put them under a shade or like on the patio or anything like that. They were in full sun, and I thought that would help them. And I think it would have if I would have consistently watered. And any seed when you're first trying to germinate it, but especially corn seeds, some particular vegetables, herbs, fruit, whatever, they do not tolerate even being parched, let alone dry. You can't let them dry out. And I think that that's what happened. All of my watering was hand watering. I don't have an irrigation system in my garden at all. So everything is hand watering. And with that, you have to have some self-discipline. You need to be consistent, especially in the early stages, in the fruiting stages, but throughout. And I was not. Plus, with the heat, that added to it. Notice I keep mentioning the heat. I'm trying to not take all of the personal blame, which of course, it was on me, but that's that's what happened. And these are how things looked, like the first couple of weeks and months. Like things look good. If you look on the left-hand side of these three pictures, this is the same raised bed at different time periods. And you see like the corn, y'all, it's like it's doing stuff. It
Yeah.
is. Like I see the corn stalks. And if you are in the chat and you can tell me what one of my big mistakes was, if you look at this picture, I'm growing corn in a raised bed. Tell me what my mistake was. Well, I had many mistakes, but just looking at these pictures, tell me what my mistake was growing corn in the raised bed. So things are going along, going along, going along, but I went out of town a couple of times. There was just times it was too hot and I just didn't feel like going outside. We gonna keep it 100. And days passed, several days, sometimes double digit days. I would go outside, but I wouldn't be consistent. I wouldn't be consistent. And y'all, the final, all right, okay, this is a safe place, right? This a safe
Yeah.
place. You know what I'm saying? Like no judgment
No
zone, safe
judgment.
place. Like you're not gonna just take my YouTube card. You're not gonna
Right.
take my gardener card.
Cards are cards.
So, all right, look, I gotta lean in because what had happened was, all right, y'all. So what had happened was, like I said, the heat waves. Remember, y'all, the heat waves. And I went out of town a couple of times. I was away from the garden. It was times that I did not go out. Y'all looked at my YouTube videos though, so you saw when the corn was healthy, right? Like you saw. Let me intermittent right quick, and let's see what Precious said. You should grow corn in squares because they are wind pollinated. Maybe plant like 6 to 8 corns in a cluster. Now yes, absolutely, that is. But the way that I planted them in a 2 foot space, I had 3 or 4 corns, and then I had one, two, and I had like 6. So I think I had like 6 by 4. So it was a tight space for a raised bed, but it was enough, for the wind pollination. I did have that because the corn actually did get pollinated. I actually got cobs. I did. And I think I showed that on one of my videos. But the thing that The problem that I did is that you see this cover, you see the cover that's up here. When the corn grew up to the cover, or when it was getting close to the cover, I was like, oh yeah, I need to take that cover off.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you can look in the picture, especially the one in the middle, you see I have a lot of other stuff that's growing in the same raised bed, and it's a lot shorter than the corn. So I kept saying, I'm gonna take the cover off. I'm gonna take the cover off. But I didn't want anything to happen to the other vegetables that I had growing in a raised bed because they look so beautiful, y'all. Everything was going so well. It was going so well, but I didn't take the cover off. So when the corn grew up, and then by being covered, not so much wind, flowing through. But I did eventually take the cover off. And okay, I'm delaying it. I'm delaying it. All right, y'all. I'm about to show the picture right now. Please, please. Y'all say this was a safe space. I heard everybody say it. I heard you. Y'all, this what the
Halloween came early.
this is this is this is what the corn eventually looked like. Matter of fact, I took these pictures today. Y'all, I took these pictures earlier today. And this is what the corn looks like. The cobs are still in the husk. Like the whole I haven't done anything. So the y'all, okay, so let me just hurry up and remove that. Let me just remove that picture, from the
You got free
from
seeds now. You don't
from
have to
the
buy
telling
seeds.
girl, I'm scared to I'm scared to look in there and see because I
Oh yeah,
mean,
the
like
bugs.
I'm scared. I'm scared. Um let me just fast forward y'all to the melon. Let me just hurry up. Let me just hurry up and get to the melon. This will be a little bit quicker story because so the melons that I got were actually from that Dixie line spring sale, and I got two plants, but they were just labeled melon, unknown melon. And I said, okay, I will take them home and I will grow them. They are actually in the black pot. So if you look at the top left picture, you see how you see like a black pot, a gray pot, black, gray, black. So the two black pots on the right, those are the ones that have the the melons in them, the unknown melons. And so they grew. Wait, hold on, y'all. Let me. Is that? Yeah, I think that's the ones that had the melon. Y'all, it been so long. But those are the ones that had the melons. They grew, they expanded, they, did what they were supposed to do. I did plant them. These are 20-inch nursery pots and 15-gallon pots. So one of those. Um, I put this was old soil. I amended it with, I believe, the Dr. Earth fertilizer. I put azomite, earthworm castings, and I put blood and bone meal in there. I watered them fairly consistently at first. They are in full sun. There's no shade in that area except for the grape plants, but I wouldn't say the grape plants aren't mature enough to provide any kind of shade or whatever. I did also use liquid fertilizer, periodically, sporadically, y'all. I did not follow my schedule. So my watering and my fertilizing schedule, I did not follow it. Like I said, there were days, 4, 5, 6 days that I would not go outside and water. Y'all, I know, just y'all, I know. So I did end up though, let me show you this. I did end up with three melons. So
Cute.
two kind of smaller melons and then one big melon. But y'all tell me, does that look like a melon to you or does it look like a pumpkin? I mean, and I know I trellised them over ladder mesh. I didn't let them sprawl on the ground because I don't have a lot of walking space in this area. But y'all tell me if that's a melon or if it's more like a pumpkin. I eventually did cut them from the vine and y'all they still sitting back there. I never opened them. I didn't try to taste them or eat them. They are still there. And I did not try to regrow because these were transplants or seedlings that I got from the store. So unlike the corn where I had more seeds and I replanted, this one I did not. And Joy, if I could just hurry up and just get off the screen because
Wait, so the label said it's a melon of some
The
kind?
label, yes, yes, absolutely. The label said that it was a melon. You tell me that. Look, I these look like pumpkins to me, but
Yeah.
I they look like pumpkins to me. Maybe it's the color that's throwing me off. Maybe these are because I was thinking, I was like, well, it's not a Kajari melon because that's a striped, that has like green and orange um skin,
Mm-hmm.
shell, outer body, whatever. What kind of melon? I don't know. And I was when they were ripe and when I took them off the vine, I was supposed to open them just to see what they look like on the inside. Maybe like smell them, maybe even take a taste to try to figure out what it was. I didn't. A lot of time has passed. Like I said, they're still sitting out there. I know pumpkins especially, but some melons hold
Yeah.
for a good period of time. Would I still like taste them and try them out? Y'all probably not, but you know.
But if it's sweet, usually something is attracted to it and would eat it if it was already ripe. Or it would start to decompose and fall apart. So since
Mhm.
that looks like it's holding on,
It
it's
does.
very
Yeah.
pumpkin-y to me.
Y'all, so I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think it is. We will probably never know. Maybe I can cut them open and at least try to save some seeds, plant it again next year, pay more attention, be
Mhm.
more consistent and diligent, and then try to see what's going on. But y'all, that's my experience growing corn and melon. Now, I have to say, I have definitely successfully grown corn in this same garden space. Been more successful with melons in this same garden space. Like I said, 2026 just wasn't, the year for me, the garden year for multiple reasons. But we show you the good, the bad, the ugly, and the gardener card pulling aspects also. So Joy, I'm gonna turn it over to you because you just have much better. We want to leave the people with a positive, something positive to go out on. We wanna do that.
There's
So the
always
floor is yours.
all right. There's always positive next year, I swear. So okay, I'll start with corn also. So mine was a variety called Ambrosia from MI Gardner seeds. I'd grown it in the past. I liked it, so I bought like 4 packets of it, and that's all I planted. Now, is that all I got? No, because most of them were yellow, like you'd expect, but some of them
Mhm.
had red, like the stalks had red, streakings and whatever. And then the fruit or whatever vegetable
Mhm.
had like the cob itself, once you ate the corn part, was had red all along it. So, and this isn't the first time this has happened, but those other years, I planted multiple packets. So I just figured I'd mix them up. But this time I just did one variety and I still got,
Mhm.
a different one, but it was still sweet. So that's fine. But yeah, their packing, their packing system there is a little chaotic, I'm guessing.
Mhm.
Other than that, I started the corn June. Yeah. Yeah. Directly June, like early June, because it was warm enough. Um, Directly in ground. The ground prior had in prior year 2 years prior, I was growing garlic in. So I did top it with a light dusting of new compost. And then I was just gonna be good at fertilizing because I was like, the soil is depleted. I'm gonna need to really do the input myself. And I didn't have that much compost to add on to it. So I was just gonna have to do it, just just throw all the fertilizer on there. So that was the idea.
Mhm.
What did I let's see. So yeah, direct zone. I did I spaced them about pretty much closer together than, they say like the 12 inches apart or whatever. I did like pretty much hand void, which is like 6, 7, 8, I don't know, inches apart. And I feel like they do okay with that. I've done that in the past and it's worked fine. And then we had the heat waves of all of practically half of June through all of July. So I had to water, water, water. And there were times where I couldn't because we were away or whatever. And these are supposed to be like 60, 70, maybe even 80. I think they're like closer to 60-day maturity. So that is what I expected this year. But I wasn't expecting that because in prior years, my weather has never been this hot constantly. It's usually like a couple of days of heat waves and then it tempers back down and it's normal and even on a little bit on the cool side. So the corn tends to just like slowly get there. And maybe by mid-August, then I'm good to go. But at this time, the corn variety was true and it matured in early August, end of July, which I was not expecting. I typically think that I'm going to have this corn for September. So I totally was off ball there.
Corn. And it looks good. Fully pollinated. Sorry. Fully pollinated. Ooh, that looks delicious. I understand. All right.
Okay, I was hoping, is the video playing for you?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We got something got nibbled there, but that's all right. That's not bad at all. Let me take a.
Okay, that's the end of it. Yeah, so that was one of the harvests. Now, that was the video I did about 2 weeks ago called Midsummer Harvest. So I did most of the corn harvest then, and you can check out that video to see, how the corn did and overall. Let's see. I did reseed right after a few more. I only had like 10 in the packet, so I put the 10 more and they're growing. I don't know if they're gonna, give me cobs by the time fall gets here, but we'll see. Other than that, yeah, I think it was successful. Not as successful as in the past. I think the soil definitely could have been worked more. I need more compost, basically. Observations. Corn, the cob itself, like what Healy has shown us. I'm very proud of her. If left in the field, even in my zone, I can't speak for 5 and below, but in zone 6, if you leave a corn cob, just let it drop on the ground, get it snowed, get it wind, get it rained all through winter. You wait till June, July comes around, it will sprout. You will have lots of little corn sprout right off that cob. Now, you will have to thin that if you really want to grow it because it is going to be very crowded. Or if you want to not save seeds, have to go through the process of unkernelling the cob. Then you just like break up the whole cob into smaller sections and then plant those sections in the space that you want them to come up. So that's, if you have an excess amount of cobs that you are feeling like it's a waste that you didn't do much with, then that's one way to like eliminate that idea. You, though, since you can grow year round, can probably just plunk in corn whenever you want and be on your way. But yeah, I really was tickled by that idea that I didn't necessarily have to replant the corn every year, that I could let it volunteer like a lot of other vegetables out there. But yeah, we had... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, are you still going on corn? Because before you go to your melon, I just wanted to pop up some comments on the corn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I asked this question. I said, if you grew corn this year, what was planted in the fall in the soil just before then? Because you said you had garlic in before the corn. Girl, I can't talk. And so Precious said she had cabbage in the soil before she planted the corn. And then Mike said if he dropped his cob, the critters would eat it, especially the rabbits. Now for you, Joy, so do you find that growing garlic in the soil, do you think it helped or hindered the corn? And the same thing for you, Precious, like you grew cabbage. Do you think that made any difference in how the corn grew or no?
Like for me, I'd say, I don't know, but I feel like it just that the soil was depleted with having had something growing on it previously. even though like it may not be the same, the uptake of nutrients may not be the same. And I did, supplement, but I still feel like I could have done better. But now in this case, I don't think garlic would have hurt it so much, but it certainly didn't help. There was no residual, like, like the smell or any chemicals in the soil that would have helped
Yeah.
deter pests or anything. I do have rabbits. I know that, but they left it enough alone, luckily. Yeah, the main culprits in my garden, I'd say, would be slugs and ants, and there was minimal damage. And I think a lot of that is because of the heat waves and early on. If they were being growing now, when we've had more rain consistently, then I think I would definitely have suffered quite a bit more losses.
Mm-hmm. Mike said that he had garlic in his soil. He planted garlic before, before the corn. T-Nog is here. How you doing? Thank you very much for joining us today. And then Precious said she don't think it made a difference because she had cabbage before she did the corn. She said she don't think that it made a difference.
Right.
And now you're going to talk about your melons?
Yes. So the melon that's successful at the moment, knock on wood on that, is Minnesota Midget. I've tried to grow this in the past and had lackluster results. So I'm really tickled yet again that this year is the Minnesota Midget year, because I have 4 babies coming up, and I'm just like watching every day, make sure they haven't gotten eaten when I where I can't see them. So far so good. These were started, let's see, in potting soil early June, and they were, inside for a couple of days, but I got them out pretty early because I wanted that hardening process taken care of outside as early as possible. They were just in regular potting soil, nothing fancy. And then about a month in, then I transplanted them to the 20-gallon container that they're in now. They are in full sun. I had to hose water because, I don't have any irrigation here either. 2020 is the what is it, Captain Jack's or Captain Jack's?
Oh, yeah,
I think it's just
Captain
Jack's. Captain Jack's, yeah.
That's Jack's. I know I said Captain Jack's. I think is Captain Jack's the pesticide?
Maybe.
And then Jack's 2020. Yeah, and I think they changed the name of it. It's like it's still the same company, or like the company got bought out by another company, but it's still the thing, the Jack's 2020. Yeah.
Okay.
That stuff is good though. I don't have it myself, but a lot of gardeners that I hear on YouTube and even locally, people use that. I know it's synthetic, it's not organic, but they say it really helps.
Yeah, this is that bag that I bought on because I was having a mental break or something because it was so expensive. But now I have it, so I'm going to use it. And containers, you got to use something synthetic, because unless you're adding life into that container some other way, you're digging up soil from the woods and plunking them in there, and there's active life there, then any fertilizer you're putting in there is just getting washed out, and very little of it is going to be used up by the plant in the time allotted. So you got to go synthetic in this one. So I only did it every month. So I'm not overdoing it. And then I also followed up with the fish fertilizer because I want that slower release stuff. Granted, with all the rain we're having, it's all getting washed away. So
can I
money
have
down.
Some of your rain, please?
So while we have the fruits, we do not know yet if we will be able to reap the benefits here, because it's still a few weeks to go before they're ready. So, I mean, in the past, I've had, I've doubted it, but it's always been delicious. So I expect the same for this. So when we're ready, we will do a taste test for sure on live. Maybe we'll do it on one of our lives here, a taste test.
That's what I said. We definitely want to know.
But I'm also growing other melons, but those are no show. The flowers are scant. Nothing. I have Sugar Baby doing nothing. I have Crimson Sweet doing nothing. I have a couple of cantaloupes. One has like a teeny tiny, like little egg size ball, I think that has a lot to do with where it's at with all the weeds in its way, and I guess I'm not feeding it. I don't know, but yeah, those other melons not doing well at all. Only so far, only the Minnesota midget this year's winner, but I
Mhm.
have grown bigger. These are little personal sized melons,
Those
the
small,
Minnesota
yeah.
midget, but I have successfully grown more medium sized watermelons in the past. But I have since that one time it was done. That was it. I was never able to do it again. So
Mhm.
I'm still holding out for that ideal size watermelon that can be shared by a family. It's never going to
Yeah,
be those 20 pounders, but a little bit bigger than a softball would be nice.
that's true. I had, if you remember, I did Kurt's baby doll watermelon. Those were 2025 seeds from a reputable company, as far as I know. But I tried 3 times. So the first time, I think I sowed 2 seeds. The second time, I sowed 3 seeds. The third time, I sowed, I think, 2 seeds, and not even germination. So it wasn't like the seeds germinated and then they failed. They never germinated.
Mm-hmm.
I also had, well, still have, you remember when I went to Tractor Supply and I got I think it's the Sugar Baby or the Icebox watermelon. I think it's Sugar Baby. And they had 6 watermelon plants in the one cup. And I put all 6 watermelon plants in a 25-gallon pot because that's all I had.
Mm-hmm.
I have watermelon the size of maybe a softball, and I have a few that are the size of, I don't know, maybe like a kid's basketball. So I mean, not,
That's good.
not standard, not regulation basketball,
Right.
smaller than that. But but they are stunted, to say the
Mm.
least. It's the heat. Number one is crowded. You should never
Right.
ever ever ever, like, put that many, but I had nowhere else to put them. So I put them where I had space. And what I was supposed to do was like see, okay, which 2 or 3, because one is, too big for a 25 gallon. But I was supposed to thin them out. And y'all know, if it's green, I have to try to save it. And that's my downfall. That's my downfall. So there are watermelon, they are there, they're alive. They're definitely not ready. And if I cut them open, you ever cut open a watermelon and it's just kind of like that, I don't know, like kind of dehydrated, netty, kind of, um I don't know how to, but it's almost like it's like kind of sucked out or kind of dried out from the inside, but it's
Mm-hmm.
before you even open it. I bet you that's probably what they're gonna look like.
Mm.
That might be,
Not
that
enough
might
water
be
content.
what, yeah,
Yeah, if it's not
not
enough
enough
water.
water.
Yeah,
Um, but like all
like
6 plants are
spongy.
filling.
Like they're
Yes,
spongy.
spongy, spongy, spongy. So, for the chat, we have talked about 2 plants that we grew, one in New York, one in California. So same plants, different, totally different areas of the country, growing zones, trying to see if we can grow the same plants that our, YouTube faves grow. Let us know in the chat, who have you tried to grow the same vegetables as, the same fruit, the same herbs, the same plants, even though you live in a a totally different climate area, USDA zone, all of that kind of stuff. And what were your results? And it can be quick. I also want to remind you, if you want to come up and tell us about it, let me get the link for you in the chat, but you can come up on StreamYard and you can talk to us and tell us about your experience. Let us know. We want to know what plants did you grow the same as, some of the YouTube gardeners you follow, even though you live in a completely different um growing space. And I'm gonna put this in the chat just in case anybody wants to come up.
Yeah, I'd
And
say
let's see.
mine definitely would be rice. It's when I saw somebody like growing in South Carolina, and I'm like, oh, they're growing rice. I can do that. And then I was like, so that is the main like plant that I took from a different zone that was like, there's no way you can grow rice, in zone 6.
Yeah, but I
So,
saw like
still
I
seeing.
saw growth, right? Didn't you?
No, no, it's growing.
It's still growing. It's
It's
still
growing.
growing. So were you pleasantly surprised, or you optimistic? You think you still gonna get like that cup of rice?
I'm optimistic,
You
yes.
think? So how long does it take? Like how long you have to wait?
It's at least like the 150-ish mark, like 150 days to maturity, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But what I have, my secret weapon, not mine, nature's secret weapon, is a stick bug. What do they call them? Is it a stick? Yeah, it's like a stick bug. It looks like it's all green mainly, and it barely moves. A praying mantis. That's what it is. A praying mantis.
Okay, yeah.
Not a stick bug. That's different. But yeah, I have a praying mantis that lives there now, and so I'm really, really hoping that it's eating up all the vermin that are trying to steal my rice, and not eating my rice as well. But no, I think it's eating up the grasshoppers. I hope so.
Well, that might be good. Now, Mike says that he's growing moringa,
That
but he
I
has
would
to grow it as
love
an
to grow.
annual, and warmer
Yeah.
areas grow it as a perennial. I still have not sown my moringa seeds. It is on my garden to-do list. I have to find space. I think that's what it is. Now, Gina says that she's growing citrus in
Ooh,
Ohio. Oh, so
I want that.
do you grow your citrus in containers and like bring it in, like put it in your garage or some kind of covered or shelter space for the winter and then put it back out? Like how do you do that? And what citrus? What are you growing? Lemon or oranges or what? And then
Yeah,
Mike says
that's
he can I know, yeah, that's now, you get definite points for that. Mike says that he can grow most things as annuals. Yeah. And then other things, this is gonna come up to my news you can use segment today that we're gonna go into about the different ways that people are starting to grow with everything that's going on. And even if you have a small space, there are methods of growing um, for you. T-Nog says that, place your moringa in a container. Yeah, that's exactly the plan, but I still need somewhere to put it. Y'all, when I tell you there is no room in the inn, I'm gonna have to evict some
Yeah, exactly.
somebody gotta go. Somebody gotta go.
You need to build some like duplexes for your plants. Just go
That's
up,
what
up.
you know what the the vertical gardening. And speaking of that, my GREENSTALK vertical planters, I broke them down and I have 3, but I'm gonna have to combine them back together to have 2 taller ones instead of 3 shorter ones, because I need, even though it's 2 feet of space, I need that 2
Yeah,
feet.
that's another pot.
Now, yeah, Mike says he found a metallic wasp that eats crickets.
That's cool.
So are crickets very damaging to gardens? Like what do crickets eat? I see the little small crickets, like when I move my pool umbrella, you know how you move the round disc part at the bottom, and I move it and a bunch of crickets like crawl from under there. Yeah.
See, a cricket is like one of those things that I would eat. Like how people eat grubs. A cricket I could eat.
Oh, now see, I would do that because I think, yeah, because like a lot of places, like they like cook them over fire and then like
It's
put
just crunchy.
honey and sugar. Yeah, they crunchy.
Yeah.
Like it's just, but take the eyes off. Like don't
Yes.
just take the whole head off. Like
Like a
because
shrimp.
I don't want you to see me, as but I probably could do that. I mean, and being from Louisiana, I think if I can eat crawfish
Right.
and
It's not
shrimp
that far. Yeah.
and stuff like that, I probably could get away
And
Like
it
I
seems
probably
even
could do it.
cleaner because bottom feeders, shrimps, and whatever. But like
That's the date.
crickets, just eating plants and stuff. Good stuff.
That's true. That's true. Oh yeah, Mike said the crickets they eat holes in everything. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's ugh. I don't want to do
Gotta eat them first.
So I know. Yeah, eat them before they eat the plants. I see you. I hear what you're
This is
saying.
gonna be our new. This is gonna make us viral. We're gonna start farming the.
Oh, we gonna start eating crickets like during the live. We'll have it like as we doing the
Oh
live.
boy.
Just do it regular, right? And then you'll just see us like crunching, and somebody in the chat gonna say, "What is that? What you eating? What is that?"
No, gotta
And then
get a
we gonna start.
storefront.
I'm gonna let you tell them. I'm gonna let you tell them. Oh, Mike said he had a Mexican taco with
Okay.
crickets. It was good. Ants too taste like
Oh,
lemon. The ants taste like
interesting.
lemon or the crickets. That y'all, I have so many ants. That's another thing in my garden. See, when you said ants,
Here we go.
I rolled my whole head. I did an exorcist turn. Ants have ever since last year, so 2025 and 2026, I will say that the ants have like taken over my garden. They are in every container because everything is and they are definitely in the ground. They're in all of my raised beds. I have baits. I have you know just things, but again, I need to be more consistent with it. T-Nog say I get big giant crickets. They eat some leaves on my okra. About 2 weeks they are gone. I have the okra. I have the okra plant, and you know what, I'm not doing no more garden videos till after November because I did that one last video and I told you, I said, hey, this is gonna be the last video, and then I'm breaking everything down. But I have two okra plants in a 5-gallon bucket right now, y'all, and they probably got about 5 or 6 okra pods on them, and they
Nice.
have zero leaves. When I
Oh, what?
They have zero. I wish I could pick up
Oh
the
no.
laptop and just they have zero. I might take a picture and just put it in a community post so you could see. I don't know, it might have like one leaf, but I see all the okra pods, no leaves, no flowers. Like
Wow.
it's there's so whatever it is, just ate like everything.
Yeah.
Oh look at Tino say cook them crunchy. Cook them crunchy, add a little Tony saturate. And then Precious say my crickets are bold. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The one, but they do. There is an industry for crickets and grubs and
Hmm.
stuff, and they farm them, and I
Yeah.
guess they feed them. Like they real nutrient dense and all of that kind of stuff, y'all. I like I said, I think I could do a cricket, a grub though, y'all.
Yeah. That's tough for me.
It would have to be like in a taco or rolled up in a burrito,
But you
and
can't
don't
see it.
tell
Yeah.
me until
Right. Ugh.
and it better be cooked all the way through. All right, y'all, that's enough because I can't do it. So, y'all, we're gonna go into our news you can use segment, and I don't have any images or pictures for this, so you just have to look at our beautiful faces. Thank you very much. So, in today's news you can use, due to recent food recalls, more individuals are not only looking into gardening, but specifically into hydroponic and aeroponic gardens for small and indoor spaces like apartment patios and rooms. And we do have Mike. I know you are expert at hydroponics. Precious T-Nog, do y'all do hydroponics or aeroponics? I know because it's a few people that at least dabble, into the hydroponics and stuff. I know Mike is like real big with the hydroponics. Now, continuing on, it says both methods focus on soil-free, water-based growing. In hydroponics, plant roots are submerged in nutrient-rich water. Hydroponic systems include the more affordable deep water culture and then a little bit more expensive ebb and flow method of growing herbs, vegetables, and even some fruit. In aeroponics, roots are suspended in air and dripped or misted with nutrient-rich water. Aeroponic systems are often set up in vertical towers. Both gardening systems are available at online retailers, local nurseries, and big box stores. And then, anybody in the chat recently, now I know Mike been doing it for a while, but has anybody recently started growing a soilless garden and why? Now
I
Mike said,
know. Let's see. I follow G Mama. She's recently more. She's using like these clay pebbles as her medium, which is really
uh-huh.
interesting. I know You Grow Row has great plants over the winter when she does hydroponics.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it. It's just when it's too big of a system, the whole cleaning it up, oh, it's such a pain in the ass. Because I had a tiny system and that annoyed me. So
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine like the towers you all have. I'm just like, wow.
I was thinking because I have a small unit. And again, because y'all know I'm banned from growing stuff inside, but I was thinking that I would at least try. It's small. It's maybe, the width or the length of a laptop. So it's not, huge. It's not
Yeah,
huge. It's definitely manageable. It's something that I could put on a side table or an end table. So not
right.
not that large, not taking up that much space. And I wanna try it. What's up, GT? Hey
Hi.
GT, are you doing do you do hydroponic or aeroponic or anything other than soil based gardening? Like, let us know. I did read in the article too where they talked about having the clay pebbles and stuff
Mhm.
like that. There's so much information. But I just heard this on the news, because we still talking about the cyclospora. We still talking about the lettuce, the leafy greens. We talking about the jalapenos with the salmonella and all of this other kind of stuff. And we have a resurgence of people coming into the gardening space, but that also live in apartments, or some people only have one room. They're renting rooms in a home or rooms in an apartment. They have really small space, and they still want to grow. They still want to get into gardening. Everybody wants lettuce, right? And I think I said this on one of my videos. If you have two solo cups, a little bit of soil, some lettuce seeds, and water, you can grow some lettuce, right? Just sit it right in your windowsill. And a solo cup is small enough to fit in your window. And using a 2-cup method, you don't have to worry about the water spilling out, all over your windowsill, or whatever. You can do that. Mike says that GT Junior is the hydro king. Driving but listening. We definitely appreciate you. And Joy, if you could just, put that out again for us about how YouTube is changing, all of the rules and stuff, and the support that we asking.
Oh yeah, sure. Speaking of, especially with what we just talking about hydroponics, if that is what you're into, if or aeroponics or whatever phonics, fish phonics, this is the good time to lean into those videos. If we are getting a surge of people needing content to follow, then you need to lean into that content so that you can
Mm-hmm.
get your watch hours if you're trying to get monetized. Um, coming up February, they've changed the rules to that you need 8,000 watch hours plus the subscribers, obviously, to get monetized for ad revenue. So if you're like us, puny people, and you really are struggling, then you got to do what you got to do. I'm thinking I'm going to be doing just more lives where I'm weeding. I just need eyeballs on
Mm-hmm.
the screen at this point.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not changing my content. I'm not going to try to do feet videos, but I will.
Yeah.
I just need people's eyeballs on my channel. I will still do the regular stuff, but I do want to
Mm-hmm.
hit that goal. And if I don't, I don't. I'm okay with that. I've made my peace. But it's something to work forward. It's something to keep me motivated, especially going into the winter now that we are. We need all the motivation we can get when it comes to these darker months for most of us that don't have any real growing going on. But yeah, if you can indoor grow, lean into those videos now for the future and get your channel
Mm-hmm.
growing. As for
And
us,
also,
please watch all our playlists on the back while you're sleeping. I know there's a lot of us out there. just, a video here and there. Really appreciate it. It
Mm-hmm.
adds up in the end.
Thank you. Yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
especially, and I think, hitting the like button, putting
Yes,
in, I think
commenting.
even if you just put hearts, I think that counts, like as a comment. I don't think it has to
Yeah.
be a paragraph of words. Not something
Right.
that I'm trying to maybe not get out of the habit of, but keep in mind, most of the time when I watch YouTube videos, I'm watching it on my television. And the most that I can do is hit the like button. I can't do a
Yeah.
comment, but I can hit the
Right.
like button. I always hit the like button, always hit the like button. And as soon as the video comes on, I hit the like button to make sure that I don't forget. I don't know how heavily YouTube is weighing the comments
Yeah, that's
versus
why I feel
the
like
like,
they don't
button.
really.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I feel like if you watch the video and at least hit the like button, even if you're watching on TV, or sometimes like GT right now, listening while driving, hopefully he have a second to at least just click the like button safely. Of course, obviously the safety come first. We don't need to like we don't need to like that. But
Right.
just hitting that like
Right. As
definitely will
Mike,
help us. But the watch hours.
to reiterate what Mike's saying, don't put it on mute. Just put it at the lowest volume it can be, but don't mute it. And also leave it at normal speed of play. If you do speed it up, it will still count,
Oh,
but it will be counted as the time that you have watched it, not the time that the video was recorded for. So I know I've heard people say that
okay.
it doesn't count at all, but it does count, but it just is lesser. So if you just play it at regular
Okay.
speed and, as if you were actually listening to it with the volume on,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. And
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, if it's on TV, YouTube is not that particular with like everybody has to comment. If you're watching it on TV, you
Mm-hmm.
can't comment. So just any little thing you can do, I think just watching it is enough.
We definitely appreciate that. Now, we are coming to the end of this live stream, but Joy, did you quickly want to go over, like, this is the month of August. We're, headed toward the end of August, almost into September. What is on your list for direct sewing, transplanting,
Sure, sure.
starting?
Like I said, I'm at the end of mine. I finished with the Asian greens, which for me are bok choy, tatsoi, and pak choy. Arugula, the lettuce I transplanted. I stuck some beets in the soil and spinach. I think that's the end of my list. Um,
Mm-hmm.
as far as harvest, I already mentioned I've got the tomatoes and peppers and eggplants and okra. The strawberries are coming back. They're coming into
Oh,
rotation
wow.
again.
Mm-hmm.
There's also whatchamacallit, the raspberry. Raspberry is also making a rotation. And
Mm-hmm.
then what was the last thing I wanted to say? I can't remember now. All right, that's it. I'm good. Oh, if you're like Florida or Texas, some of you are just restarting your gardens now because you're finally getting a little bit of a cool down. So, like yourself in
Mm-hmm.
California, maybe you are just like restarting the whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. I have so for us here, August is still kind of like that a crossover month. So in the beginning of the month, you can actually do a succession sow of many warm season or summer crops. You still can do that in the first half of August. In the second half of August, you kind of looking at just harvesting what you have. If you started anything, transplanting it into the raised bed or the bucket or in ground or whatever. The second half of the month, then we're looking more at like the lettuce and the Swiss chard, the herbs, flowers, some flowers, check the seed pack and the instructions and stuff. But some flowers are better planted in the late summer or the fall. They overwinter the flowers and then, you have a spring bloom.
Mhm.
But leafy greens, green onions, the root crops, it's a good time now to start those. If you're living in zone 10, 11, I think even 9B. Tina, you can let us know if what are you doing for this second half of August? kind of going into the first week of September. But brassicas is another good thing, to start. You can start those. And like I said, yeah, the root crops, the Swiss chard, and then just harvesting anything that's still in the summer garden, because for zones 9, especially 9B, but 9, 10, 11, it'll be September, and we're still plucking tomatoes, off the plants. So but so still very active
Mhm.
in my zone as far as succession planting warm season crops, but also a time to start the cool season crops.
All right.
So this is rounding out the live stream for today. Like I said, we talked about growing the same plants in different climates, different growing zones. Um, the successes and the not successes. We y'all, I'm telling you, it just I can't really put it on the heat waves like 100%. It was me not being consistently active in my garden. And we talk about that a lot. A lot of us talk about that on our channels. You can't just put the seed in the ground or put the seed in a cup, or, get the transplant from the nursery or the big box store, put it in some soil, like water it and fertilize it one time, and then that's it. You need to be consistently in your garden. I hear T-Nog say it, all the time. She like walk daily, a daily walk through the garden, daily checking it out and seeing what's going on. It's not necessarily that you have to, in depth, like canvas and work the entire garden space every day. But if you walk in it every day, you do a little bit here, you do a little bit there, you'll see things before they become an issue, and that's what's important. You have to be consistent. And I definitely was not that this time. Joy saved me.
All right. As a reminder, Gardening Plus podcast is normally live streamed at 2-week intervals and alternate between our two channels here on YouTube. Sometimes we mix it up. So subscribe to myself at Joy of the Garden and Home and at HealyMeans to make sure you are notified. And we will be changing our schedule back to regular-ish time, which is usually afternoons. It was Tuesdays in the past, so I don't know if we're still there, but we'll get our act together and let you know as soon as we can. So come September, we will be back to regular afternoon, or in your case, morning schedule. So that's usually 9 a.m. Pacific and 12 p.m. Eastern. If you have future topic ideas, please let us know either in the chat or comment in any of our videos. We may not be experts, but we may be persuaded to talk about anything related to gardening. May even dabble with those crickets.
I was just gonna say that. See, crickets. We talk about, yeah.
Why
I don't
not?
know about the grubs though, but the crickets, we might. We might do that.
So I'm Joy. My content focuses mainly on gardening vlogs. Along the way, I sprinkle cooking segments, unboxing, and trips. I also have a series on resilience in the garden. There's a few videos on there on the playlist. Check it out. I will, as now the season is amping down, I will try to get more videos for you about that. And make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. If you have a story to tell, hit me up. My info is in the description.
And I am a channel that's multi-topic. It started out with natural hair, and it has quickly evolved like over time. So I'm doing product reviews, hauls and unboxings, vlogs in the car, and of course gardening. So if you like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, or surprises even to me, check out my channel. I'm only on YouTube.
All right. I like Mike's comment here. Cooking recipes for garden pests. That's awesome. We'll see about that.
we gonna cook the pest. That's right. Like, you remember, like when you was a kid and you had the magnifying glass and you
yeah, I didn't do that.
You know what? I didn't, but I saw people to do it, y'all. I need a solution. I need something that's gonna help me with the ants, because every time I water my containers, you see the little ants crawling up with their little eggs, trying to save the larvae, trying to save the babies, and I just
Yeah.
drown them, just drown them. Mike
All
says fun
right.
live. We definitely appreciate y'all being here, for the live, for the replay. Tell everybody about Gardening Plus. Tell everybody about our channels. We definitely share your channels, and I forgot to mention this today. I'm sorry about that. Your channels, because almost everybody that was in the live today has their own channel, and doing their own content and their own thing. Please feel free to type your information in the chat. I don't think I have it where you can put a link, and I don't have the night bot or the chat bot or whatever, but y'all, we gonna get it together. But definitely shout out your channel, shout out the things that you are doing. Please advertise
Yes.
on our
Advertise yourself.
lives, on our videos. Definitely advertise yourself, because if not you, then who?
Exactly.
All right, Joy, you ready to take us
All
out?
right. Yeah, sure. All right. I will talk to y'all again soon. So I'll harvest more. Bye.
And until next time, be safe, be well, and be blessed. Good night.
Night.